you own a home or have plans to in the future? Or are you upside down in your mortgage and need help? Tune in right now to the Call Toni Real Estate Radio Show with Toni Patillo and her co-host Carla Dennis. This is where you come to learn about buying real estate. Here's Toni.
Hello, Los Angelinos. I'm your host, Toni Patillo, and you're listening to Call Toni Real Estate Radio here on KEIB AM 1150, The Patriot. Mike Torres. This is with a healthy curiosity and fascination in real estate. Mike began to study how to invest in real estate in America. Using the court systems in the U.S., he quickly learned how to identify great buying opportunities with motivated sellers. Soon thereafter, he went from a teacher to a millionaire in his early 30s by investing in probate. It wasn't long until he began teaching and empowering friends, family, and students in his immediate circles. And I am one of those friends in that immediate circle.
Oh, I want to get in that circle.
Yeah, hello. Mike, welcome. Welcome
Thank you,
to the
Toni.
show.
Thank you
so
for having
nice
me.
to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Oh, my goodness. For the listener, why don't you explain exactly what a probate is?
Okay. In America, when someone passes away, there's only two ways you can settle an estate. You either have a living trust or you go through the probate process. If a person has what we call a fully vested living trust, that means if something were to happen to that individual, then that trust gets executed at the attorney's office. Now, whether you have a will or no will, it doesn't really matter. The only way you can avoid probate is by having a living trust. So that means that the rest of the country will have to go through the probate courts.
Right.
Statistically, about 5% of people in America have a living trust.
Wow.
And it's probably less than that. So when you're looking at it,
Yeah.
95% of Americans will have to go through the probate courts to settle their estate.
Yeah.
And in the process of settling the estate, they have to take care of taxes.
Yes.
They have to take care, any outstanding bills from attorneys, accountants. You have credit card bills, outstanding mortgages. So the first thing that the person in charge, also known as an executor or administrator, what they have to do is take inventory of what they have.
Yeah.
And it's like simple accounting. Do I have enough liquidity to take care of the debts? And if I do, then I settle my debts and I move on. Or the next thing is I have to liquidate something. And the most valuable asset to the estate is always the real property. That's where the opportunity comes from. And one of the things that I noticed in today's times is that the market has shifted. It's just different.
Yeah.
We're talking about the baby boomer generation, which
Yep.
is the largest living generation.
Yep.
And they right now are between mid-50s and mid-60s. So this generation is getting older, and this generation were taught to be investors. This is from the recession time. This is where the offspring of the people that went through the Great Depression.
Right.
So these children grew up buying and buying properties. They're what we call asset-rich, cash-poor. So when they pass on, the people who are taking over their estate, they have plenty of assets, but they have no liquidity. So the first thing they have to do is liquidate the properties. And that's where the opportunity comes in. It's a great opportunity for an investor.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for a realtor from a listing perspective. So it is a really neat niche, but a lot of people don't understand it. So the first step is, like you always said, education is the key, is the first step.
Yeah.
We're expecting to see over $17 trillion in inheritance passing through the probate course by 2017.
Wow.
We're talking about 3 years from now.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And the reason why they don't get involved is because they don't want to spend the time in learning the process. Now, let me give you an example. In my head, I was like, I can't believe this. Are you serious? You're going to sell me these lots for $8,000 a piece? He says, but then as a negotiator, you have to go one more round just for fun. And I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we meet halfway? Let's do 7. He said, okay, 7,000 for everything. My mouth just dropped. I remember taking the contract out of my bag and I was shaking. I'm like, okay. He signed the paper. So I bought 5 acres of land in Yucca Valley for $7,000. I learned this a long time ago from a teacher. He says, you don't have to have money. You have to have a good contract. If you have a good contract, well negotiated, the money will come.
We want to remind you that we're here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Call Toni Real Estate Radio here at KEIB AM 1150, The Patriot, where we're committed to bringing you tools for positive change. If you tuned in late and you'd like to go back and listen to the full show, please go to calltoni.com. That's calltoni with an I.com and click on the prior shows link. You can always call us on our off-air number. Again, that's 888-309-9797. That's 888-309-9797. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and friend us on Facebook. And as always, we want you to have a magical, magical weekend.